This horror story is about Mr. Baum, a young TV actor who shared with us the terrifying story of his grandparents' house in Bangkok, a story that haunted his family for generations. So, this all happened decades ago when Baum's grandparents moved from upcountry into Bangkok. Back then, Bangkok was still mostly quiet, fields and canals everywhere. They were looking for a house, something peaceful for retirement, and the only one left in the new housing project was the model home, the show unit built for display. The place looked perfect. Wide, clean, modern for its time. They didn't hesitate to buy it. But what they didn't know was that this decision would tie their family to something dark, something that was already there before the house existed. At first, everything was fine. But not long after moving in, strange things started happening. Everyone in the house, Baum's grandfather, grandmother, and mother, began seeing floating orange-red orbs of light drifting around the property at night. Sometimes the lights hovered still, but if anyone stared or called out to them, they'd dart straight towards you before vanishing. They tried to ignore it, but it kept happening. Grandfather decided to invite monks to bless the house, not once, but several times. Each time, the chanting filled the rooms, incense smoke curling in the air. Yet nothing changed. The lights stayed. The shadows in the corners stayed. Finally, they visited a well-known medium. After a long silence, she said something that made everyone freeze. The guardian spirit here isn't Buddhist, it's Islamic. Your blessings can't reach them. So they called in a local imam to recite Islamic prayers. The night after that ceremony, Baum's aunt, who had always been sensitive to spirits, woke up paralyzed. She'd been pressed down by ghosts before, but this time it felt different. She couldn't move, but could see, and what she saw chilled her blood. Around her bed stood more than 10 shadowy figures, men, women, and children, holding hands in a circle. They were chanting softly in a language she didn't understand, but she somehow knew what it was, a funeral prayer, and she was the one lying in the middle. They went back to another spirit master, desperate for answers. He told them the truth. The house had been built directly over the stump of a massive Takian tree, sacred wood, and the developers had cut it down without any offering or apology. The spirit that lived there, the lady of the tree, was furious. They had desecrated her place, buried her under concrete and pipes. Following the master's instructions, the family held a ritual to move her spirit into a statue, a woman dressed in a green silk shawl. They called her Chow Mei Suchata. But instead of peace, things got worse. The ghostly lights stopped, but the spirits began showing themselves in full form. Everyone in the house saw them now. Even Baum's friends who slept over saw a child sitting on the table or hugging someone's leg in the dark. One night, Baum's uncle heard metal clanging from the back door. Clang, clang. He thought it was a thief and shouted at the noise, telling whoever it was to get lost. The moment he finished yelling, the metal door slammed shut with a deafening bang. He tried to sleep, but soon heard a small voice whisper by the bed, "Father, Mother." He turned slowly, and there she was, the woman in a long white dress, hair dripping, skin covered in mud. She was sitting at the end of his bed, slowly crawling closer. Her face was hidden under the filthy strands of her hair. He jumped from the bed in one motion and bolted out of the room, running to Baum and Grandma's room. shaking all over. The next night, it was his wife's turn. She was paralyzed in her sleep, unable to scream. The same woman crawled from the foot of her bed, straddling her chest, dragging muddy hair across her face. The stench was unbearable. One cold hand gripped her arms so tight that nails scratched her skin. She prayed, begged, tried to call every holy name she could, but nothing worked. Finally, exhausted and terrified, she gave up. Fine, she thought, if I'm going to die, then let it happen. At that moment, a flash of light appeared at the head of her bed, and the ghost vanished instantly. But the peace didn't last. Not long after she returned to bed, the muddy woman crawled back again. Soon after, death started to follow the family. Baum's grandfather died of a heart attack in the house. His uncle fell ill and passed away in the hospital. Then, Baum's mother died unexpectedly within months. The house had become heavy, suffocating with unseen anger. Baum and his grandmother finally moved out. Before leaving, Baum decided to leave the statue, Mesuchata, behind. He told the new owners only that it was the house's guardian spirit. He didn't tell them what she had done. Years later, Baum met a spiritual teacher who told him, "It's good you left. The spirits there don't accept merit. They only have one message. This land is ours. If you can live there, then live." And so the model house, beautiful on the outside, remains cursed beneath its perfect walls, built over roots that never forgave being